Hello, hi, how are you, Bali?
Hello. I'm good. It's raining really hard here. I don't know if you've got the same terrible weather that we do.
Oh, no, it's not. It's not raining.
Oh, okay.
Where are you?
San Francisco. Yeah, it's really,
Oh,
really windy and really, really rainy. And I apologize in advance. I have to get off the call at like 3:20 because I have a class at 3:30. So I'm just
no
gonna have to
problem.
abruptly leave and then I'll watch the recording later. Yeah.
No, no problem. No worries. Yes, a lot of people view it on it's actually available on the YouTube Katisol or
Great. Okay,
yeah.
that's good. That's good
So
to know.
they just have it available not right away. Sometimes it takes weeks. That's just
Huh?
the problem.
Oh, okay. All right. So
Yeah.
I'll be on the
So
lookout for it. Yeah, because I'm
yeah.
sure I'm gonna miss part of it. Yeah.
But yeah, at least you'll get some of it. Yeah. All right. I am going to also join. Okay, so we have Carolyn is here and I'm gonna just okay. All right, how's everyone doing?
Excellent. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Um, I'd love to hear more about every one of you. So if you could just give me a short intro, like your name, what school, or what where if you're doing private school, that's fine too. Just giving us an idea of where you are, what school, um, and so what you're interested in, like why you're interested in technology and language. Like, well, not why, but what specifically are you interested in? Yeah. So we can put location because we're all over in San Diego. And then also,
So my name is Bali, and I actually work as an online language coach with
mhm,
both domestic and international students. And before that, I worked in community colleges and private language institutes. And all of my teaching is online now, so I'm always interested in any new technology
mhm.
developments. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
yeah. Yeah, and if you could well actually, I have to record this, so if you could put that into the chat, that would
Oh,
be
oh,
really
okay,
helpful.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could put it in the chat and then we could also um get everybody all at once.
Okay.
Okay, that would be great. Carolyn, yeah, you could do that too. And then we have a small group today because the date changed. The original date was January 31st, I believe. It was a Friday, but there was a schedule conflict because of the Katiso board meeting. So they said they didn't want to bump me or anything, but they said that you'll probably not get as many people. So I moved it, but I think I'm getting less people now because some people just can't do Tuesday, but they could do Friday. Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Carolyn. I teach at Pasadena City College in our non-credit division. So it's basically adult ed. I was doing adult ed in LA Unified for about 10 years prior to that.
Mhm.
And I specialize in vocational ESL, also known as English for specific purposes. So I do ESL for healthcare, ESL for early childhood, and ESL for culture. And I just always like to hear about what's happening in technology. What are the latest things? I'm actually on sabbatical this year, so I'm not teaching. So I feel a little bit disconnected, in that sense. So I've just been trying to come to some webinars, in different areas. So thank you for hosting this.
No. Yes, I'm so here. I'm so glad to hear that you're doing your sabbatical. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So then, you feel, yeah. And I think it's great to catch up on all of the things that we've seen in 2024. Um, yeah, today is a great, like you're getting your bonus like all at
Yeah.
once. It's gonna be a lot, but then I'm gonna go really fast because some of it you already know. It's just kind of like a review of 2024. And much of that, everything is going to just get more powerful in 2025, unless there's something absolutely new happening in 2025, right? It's just kind of everything kind of goes over to 2025. So everything that you're going to see in 2024, you'll see it in a more powerful state in 2025. Yeah. Let me log in on my other. I'm actually using 3 monitors.
Oh,
That
wow.
helps me to monitor everything. Let's
I'm
see.
just going to turn off my camera because I'm getting a weird glowy effect.
No
So
problem. Yeah.
I actually, I think need to update my Zoom. I think the college did something since I've been on sabbatical, but so sorry
Mhm.
about that.
Okay. So I do appreciate if people can turn on their monitor only when they're speaking. That's totally helpful so we know who's speaking. Because sometimes we're trying to figure out who just spoke. So only when you're speaking, you can turn on your monitor. At other times, you can turn it off, no problem. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, I'm also in, so I'm gonna start. It's 3:07, so I would like to begin. Usually we begin at least 5 minutes after. Let me, if you just came in, I think Destiny just came in. If you could just write your name, what school, location that you're in, and what interests you have in technology. So I heard we have some different people in different places in their teaching career. Some are on sabbatical, some are working and have to go to work in 30 minutes. Okay. So let me I'm gonna start recording. One moment. Okay. Oh, it looks like we are recording, right? Did everybody have to press that join button? Was that what everybody had to do, or am I just recording? Okay, maybe I am recording.
It says recording on my screen, so
Yeah, okay,
okay.
good, good. So it was automatic. Um, all right, so let us begin. I am using something called Prezi Video to put this on my screen if some of you are curious. This is what I'm using, but I'm gonna explain who I am. This is the TEL IG interest group workshop, and we're doing reflecting on, what do we have? Let's see, right here. Okay, reflecting on technology trends in 2024. That was our title. I felt like if I said, I'm going to give you the technology trends on 2025, I would be lying because I'm not an expert in technology, but I'm very interested in technology, but it would be a lie if I said I know what's going to happen in 2025. So I wanted to talk about what I saw as some of the technology trends in 2024. So this is what we're doing. Okay, let me move this over here. Okay, here we go. So welcome to TEL IG workshop. We're reflecting on technology trends in 2024. My name is Jennie. My name is Jennie Kim. I work at San Diego College of Continuing Education. It's a part of the San Diego Community College District, and I'm one of the ESL instructors here. And I have been the assistant coordinator for the TEL interest group with Johanna Gleason. And Johanna Gleason, she filled her 2 years. She did a wonderful job. I learned so much from her. And she's now on to different activities that she's doing locally and at our school. Actually, Johanna and I work at the same school, so that was also a bonus. I also want to say that, so I want to thank Johanna for all of the work that she's done. I am now the technology coordinator. I'm sorry, TEL coordinator. And I am looking for an assistant coordinator to do this work, wonderful work with me. I do want to say that TEL IG is one of the most popular workshops at CATISL. We do get a lot of people checking in on our videos in our Cotiso YouTube channel. So if I would like to say from the beginning that this will be recorded, and because we have volunteers do the captioning, the subtitles, and also have to do some editing. It takes a while, and then it will go up on the YouTube channel, Cotiso YouTube channel. All right. What else? And so yeah, let's dive into what we're doing today. Reflecting on technology trends in 2024. I'm going to share. Let's see. Here it is. Let me share. Today I have a Canva account, Canva presentation available. So let me get that ready. Here it is. Okay. So, and my Zoom. All right. So let's take a look. While we're on it, I want to do some fancy stuff just because this is a tell group. I'll do some fancy stuff so that if you're interested, I could tell you what I'm doing. But if you already know about it, then that's even better. Okay. So I'm gonna do a little bit different. That Zoom is now doing these picture, like host in the picture. You see me in the picture, right, everyone? Okay. So let me go check over here. All right.
Sorry to interrupt. Are you going to tell us how you did that?
Sure. If you're interested, you could put it in the chat, and I can tell you afterwards. Thanks. These are just little things that I'm doing to show you, but it's not part of the technology trend. But these are all wonderful things that Zoom has new features on. Yeah. Okay. So let me share my screen. Okay, so do you see? Okay, you have my screen. All right, awesome. And then it's too small, right? So is that better? Okay. Okay, so it looks like the screen is so let me know. From what I see that my Canvas screen is too big. Is that right? Am I? Okay, let me try that one more time and get the right one. Okay, so now that looks better. Okay, so let's go to the first page. So this is our screen. I want to make it a little bit, yeah. Okay, now that's perfect. Okay, so today is February 4th, 2025, and let's go to the next screen. All right, so this is it, everybody. These are what I've seen as the key trends and innovations in 2024. So as you may all know, generative AI, it exploded. It's been slowly exploding, but this year, many teachers have been putting generative AI into use in their classrooms. I see many people were exploring it in the spring, and just last fall, I would hear of more and more teachers using it in their ESL classrooms. So generative AI, artificial intelligence, we now call it Gen AI since it's such a long name. And then there's also, and I'm sure many of you have seen this, but real-time translation is just becoming more and more powerful, that it's becoming very immediate and instant, that students are leaning on it more and more. It may be great for some students some people who are traveling to other countries or who really need it when they're immigrating to a new country. But for ESL learners, it's becoming more of a crutch. So that's something to talk about. And then we also have something called MAL. And many of you already know this, but now we have a name for it. It's MAL, Mobile Assisted Language Learning, because now more and more teachers are using the mobile as part of a tool, just like a pencil in the classroom. When I say more and more, it doesn't mean it's becoming the average yet, but it's meaning that maybe it could be 15% or 20% of the teachers in your school, but they are coming and they're using um, phones as a language learning tool in the classroom, much, much more than before. There's also gamification. Once again, this is not new, but it's become much more prevalent. And once again, there's some controversy about whether gamification is not too addictive, right? So some people think, oh, you don't want your children to do it, but then you use it with your in your classroom. So it's kind of like we have to draw that fine line, right? Okay. What about micro learning? So what is micro learning? For me, this was kind of new too, but I've seen it, but I didn't really recognize it as a trend. But micro learning is a trend. It means you learn or give lessons in bursts of 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So micro learning means you don't learn for long periods of a whole lesson, but doing very short, that could be through a mobile or it could be through your app, just getting 5 minutes of vocabulary or 5 minutes of reading here. 5 minutes of speaking with ChatGPT voice. Like those micro learning are becoming more and more popular and being used as a type of learning tool. And then the last two, virtual and augmented reality. We all heard about this. And before generative AI came about in 2022, it was actually the new buzzword. That was what we used to call metaverse. You don't hear that anymore. And now people are saying, oh, metaverse? That was kind of like in the past. Is that even around anymore? Well, virtual and augmented reality, AR, VR, AR, is still around. It's just that right now, all the money is going into generative AI to make it more powerful. So less of that money is going into VR. So we still have a long way to go, but more and more teachers, there's a niche of teachers who are still wanting to use more of VR and AR in their classrooms. The last one I wanted to talk about is online credentialing for upskilling. So this has been a trend, and it has been a slow trickle of a trend, but now more than ever, you see teachers adding digital badges to their emails at the very bottom. Or if you go to LinkedIn, you'll see more and more people having these certifications. And many of those certifications are not through brick and mortar in person, but they're actually through online. So you can either get something from Coursera or you pay something from another school and you get a credential or a certificate, or you can get a digital badge, and it's great for upskilling. And that's another word that we have to talk about because upskilling has been a very trendy buzzword for a while now in the workplace. But even for teachers, upskilling is something that we should all think about doing because of how fast everything is moving. We want everyone to be learning a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Not you don't need a whole master's degree. You only need to learn a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and that's how you upskill yourself. And you're ready for the changing technology. Okay, so I want to just stop here for a moment and ask, is there anything else that you have noticed in 2024 that you felt like it's not kind of included under any of these topics? If you do, please share, and we could talk about that for just a little bit. So let's see, you can also tell me in the chat. Okay, so nobody saw anything, or you want to mention anything about something that you noticed in 2024 that you thought is worth mentioning? No? Yeah? Okay, so I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to think about that. All right, so let's just kind of absorb all of this. So Gen AI, I know most of you already know that. Mall, gamification, microlearning. I actually like microlearning because I didn't even think about it and I realized I was doing a lot of that. I also was doing a lot more online credentialing for upskilling. So that's something that I started doing in 2024. That's for me. Would you like to share what you have been using more of in 2024? Any of you? Carolyn, Bali, or Destiny? Okay. So if you don't have anything to share, then we will go to the next page. All right, so first let's look at generative artificial intelligence. And of course, I'm not going to go over what it is or anything like that because I'm assuming that everybody here have an idea of what Gen AI is. So these are just the bullet points. We look at it as a language learning companion or a tutor. It's almost like a tutor now, right? And another thing that comes to mind is you get personalized learning with, and how is that possible? It's because AI is using big data. Big data meaning, let's say the student is using a platform with AI, the AI will start to collect all that data of that student, of the questions it's asking, the mistakes it's making, and then personalize itself for that student. Now, some of you will think right away, oh, red flag because they're taking all our information. But more and more companies are acknowledging that there are privacy issues. So they're claiming, when we don't know for sure how much that is true, but more and more companies are promising and saying, we're not going to be using your data. We're only going to be using the data for the AI for this specific app or this specific platform. And so we'll see how it goes. It's still relatively new. Gen AI mimics human-like interactions. So as they're doing that, as like a human, it's not going bitty bitty beep, and then they go through that. It's kind of like real time, like you're talking with a person. You give them the generative AI platform gives you real time feedback about what mistakes you made, what you could do better, uh, compliments you, encourages you, and you can have that conversational practice. So that's a huge plus for teachers who have always been struggling with how to help students have better experience with conversation. The next one is multimodal. So Gen AI has become much more multimodal, and it's using all these capabilities, text to video, text to image, caption videos. That's what's so exciting for people, techies or people who are interested in tech like me. That's what was very flashy for me. I said, wow, because I felt like generative AI could be kind of like Google, and I was very comfortable with Google getting information. But this whole multimodal aspect really lured me in. I'm just going to show you an example of what, oh, sorry. I'm going to go back, of what this means, what it looks like. So I actually I went to Sora because I have ChatGPT, which is a part of Sora. And that shows you where, okay, thank you, Bali. Okay. And that shows you what I made. So what I did was I went to Sora in my chat GPT, and then I put in a prompt. So I put in a prompt because I was thinking, I want this vision, but it's not going to be an image, it's going to be a video. So that's really cool, right? You're putting in a prompt to make a video of what you're envisioning. Once again, it's not perfect, but it's much better than having just a two-dimensional flat image. So it's really cool. So let me show you what it looks like. Okay, so let me get that. Oops. Okay, so take a look at this. This is under Sora, and this is the video that I made. So that teacher is supposed to be me, and I said I want to be in a lotus position yoga pose, but it couldn't do it. And somehow that leg is sticking out. I don't know. I couldn't fix that. And then we're having a workshop. It's going to be a workshop with different teachers. And the teachers have to sit in a zero gravity chair. They're all in leisure wear, and we're at a tropical island. So that's that's my ideal image of a workshop. So yes, you're welcome. I hope you're having fun in this workshop with the palm trees and everything. All right, so I just wanted to show you that. And then we're back to this. Okay. Okay, so that was just to show you what I made, and it was just a couple of prompts because I needed to find, it gave me at least, I would say, 10 different prompts because I kept putting in more and more information. And then finally, that was the best I could do. That was like closest to what I was envisioning in my head. All right. Generative AI also enhances engagement, and it allows people to work on their own at a personalized, self-paced learning. Okay, we used to call it AI chatbots, and that's the rave right now. People want to talk about AI chatbots, and more people are trying to use these AI chatbots to help students on their like, for example, if you have an LMS like Canvas or Moodle or Blackboard, teachers are trying to use chatbots to be the syllabus chatbot, so that if students have any questions while they're on the website, they could just ask simple questions like, hey, when does the semester end? Okay, going forward, just to add this, AI chatbots will become more intelligent and more human-like, that they will become called AI agents. So now the cutting edge leaders in software engineering and machine learning, they're all working on AI agents who are much smarter than the chatbots. So right now we're still on chatbots. All right, AI dominance across tech tools. So in the past year, we've seen more and more tech tools that we originally used, such as Grammarly or Canva or even Canvas, Microsoft, all of the tech tools that we are using, AI has dominated, where you'll always get some AI asking you, do you need any help? I'm your AI, or Canva AI, or Magic AI. They have all these extra. PowerPoint, for one example, PowerPoint has something called AI Presentation Coach. That's just one example. Can anybody else give me an example of what you've seen that you've been working on that you've seen AI added to it? Can I have some people share what they've seen in their usage in their tech tools? Quizlet, yes, that's correct. Quizlet has more AI, so it's much easier to find the correct picture or the correct answer to your definition, to your vocabulary, to the vocabulary that you want to present. Yes, Quizlet is one of them, PowerPoint. I would say I use Canva a lot. This slide was made from Canva. There's those Magic AI that they have. So they just kind of help you with just bringing more powerful and more and time-saving presentations on Canva. All right. Okay. So teachers' favorites, just so that we don't, go by without everyone getting some new AI apps. I'm going to share some AI apps that I collected over the past few months to see what are teachers' favorites. So these are some of the ones that are tried and true teacher favorites. They're not something I just copied from someone's list. I actually went through different social media, teacher groups, AI groups, and teacher using technology groups on different social media platforms. And I tried to take out the ones that seemed like robots and bots. Now we call it bots, right? Not robots. I found that these are some of the ones, and the teachers explained why they liked it. So Spark Space, and these are not just for higher education students. This is from grade school, public school, all the way to university. So it's just a matter of sharing this information so everybody can pick which ones they like. But some of them, Sparkspace and Brisk, these were great for, and School A, the School AI and CuratePod, those top four, a lot of teachers use it for student feedback and having kind of like a teaching assistant and helping with lesson planning. And then Notebook LM, if you haven't learned about it already, this is great for teachers who are also getting another degree or getting another like 1 year long, like a 1 year long certificate. It's a great study guide. And what happens is you collect all the data, all the documents that you want about a topic that you want to learn about. You upload it to Notebook LM, and then you just press a button and it comes alive. What happens is they integrate all of the information from the documents that you uploaded, and it becomes a podcast. You won't be able to believe it until you try it. Notebook LM is amazing, and it's really, really something that you want to explore, Notebook LM. And I would say I've used it with my advanced conversation students, and I said, if you want to like work on your listening, or if you want to learn about a topic and you don't want to be sitting at a desk, maybe you want to walk your dog, just put all of your documents into this. Like for example, I have some students who are training to be a nurse. And I said, just put it all in there and then listen to a podcast while you're walking your dog. So that's just a different way of learning now. We also have developingexperts.com. This is also kind of giving you an idea of how to write a lesson. Braid AI, I haven't used it. Grading, it's for grading. Comicfy, a lot of elementary school teachers are using this to turn their children's or students' stories into comic strips. So that's interesting. I don't know how well the comic strips that are illustrated, but the teachers loved it. And we have another one that if you are interested about the chatbot for syllabus, you can try PlayLab. PlayLab is another one that some of our higher education teachers have talked about. They say it's a very easier, it's an easier way, maybe not the easiest, but it's an easier way if you're not sure how to use AI, you can use PlayLab to make that syllabus. So Carolyn is asking, is Notebook LM a free app? And yes, it is. So far, it is free. And these days, you know, everything that's free, there's always a limit. I haven't felt any inconvenience because there's a limit, and I don't know what the limit is, but I just tried it. I didn't use it heavily. So for now, it's free. Yeah. And then we have captions, which is kind of like having more video. So let's say you made a video and you want it to be, let's say you're making something for an asynchronous class. So maybe students need to do their work on Canvas. So you need to have a nice video so that you explain something to them and then they could answer questions. And that's called captions. And they can have like an AI person, well, it looks like a human being, and then they talk about your video. Yeah, so that you don't have to do it. So isn't that awesome, everyone? What are some things, what are some of the apps here that you think you might try using? What do you think? It looks like Carolyn is maybe interested in using Notebook LM. Yes, it's very, very, I would say for me, I've used Notebook LM the most out of all of these. And it's just jaw dropping. Oh, you love the podcast one. Yeah, the Notebook LM. That's the one. Yeah. Notebook LM is just really jaw dropping. So I would highly recommend trying it out. And always, you don't want to go there by yourself. If you're new to this, go to a YouTube video, look up Notebook LM, and there's plenty of people who explained it very well and simply. So I would suggest that route. Okay. And this is, I got this from ZDNet. I'm not sure how accurate it is, but it seems right now, just for AI, this is not about technology trend, but just for AI, the most popular, most used is ChatGPT right now. Even though people keep talking about Gemini, Claude, and all the other AIs, right now, ChatGPT, nobody can really do better than ChatGPT in terms of how thorough their answers are. I will say that if you have been following the news, DeepSeek is another new up and coming runner. But we haven't, nobody can really say for sure if it's better than ChatGPT. The only thing that DeepSeek is for sure is that it was cheaper to make than ChatGPT. So that will be a different conversation about it was just cheaper to make. So it just kind of moves the industry a little bit in terms of where the money will be going. But in terms of how efficient it is and how thorough it is, ChatGPT is still one of the best. And then they say Canva. Ooh, I'm a Canva fan. Like I said, Canva has just makes your designing or your presentations just really pretty if you're really into gorgeous presentations. All right. Okay, so let's go into the second one, which is real-time translation. So I'm not going to go over all of it, but I will say that real-time translation has become more of a thing especially for our students, low beginner students, where students who had low literacy, who couldn't understand what you were saying, or they just couldn't understand, are now understanding you. But it's also becoming a crutch. So for me, it's a little bit of a, I don't know, like we have to find ways to limit it for some of our students because it's becoming a crutch for their listening skills, I think. But right now, the immediacy and accuracy has made it more possible because of the natural language processing advancement in machine learning. So you'll be hearing a lot more about natural language processing. People call it NLP because that's part of why AI is doing so well in responding back very quickly because of the NLP and because of the progress that's happening. And that's also because they're getting better at it, it's getting faster and more immediate. Last year, people have noticed that contextually, they're more accurate. Before, they were not able to translate figurative speech to people, and it was just becoming a little bit inaccurate at times. But that has been much better last year. It also boosts accessibility because real-time translation can help students who are disabled and who have better accessibility through real-time translation. It's great for, so yeah, let me go back to, also I wanted to mention that there's also translator earbuds at the bottom here. Translator earbuds is also becoming better and better, obviously, because everything is immediate and accurate. So now some people I've noticed in the classrooms are using translator earbuds to communicate with their, we call it port of entry or newcomer student. And this is specifically for grade school in ESL environments where, let's say, one new student, the only student who speaks a different language is that one new student who came in. So the teacher doesn't have that extra time to translate everything and she can't get extra help. So she just uses the translator earbuds to communicate with that student. So we've been hearing more about that. And one of the brands, Time Kettle, is considered a good one. What about in the classroom? Can either Carolyn or Destiny, why don't you tell me if you've seen this happening in your classroom, or maybe Carolyn, you said maybe you're on sabbatical, so maybe you saw it in the past year. Destiny, what do you think? If you'd like to share, let's see, you haven't seen it. People using translation?
I was curious if you can tell me more about the translator earbuds. So, like, the earbuds are connected to an app on your phone that,
yes.
Okay, so you download the Time Kettle app, and does they work with any type of earbuds?
No, you have to buy the specific earbuds that come with Time, that's from Time Kettle.
Okay, but then
Yeah.
they connect, you like would add them as another like Bluetooth connector on your phone.
Yes, I believe so, but I haven't used it, but I've been reading about it, and I've seen the advertisements. So they said you have to use it with a phone for now. And they're hoping that we don't have to use so that we're not bound to this phone. But For now, people are using the phone, and I believe it's Bluetooth.
Okay, so it's like for receptive language. So like, let's say you're listening to a lecture, like you said, in
Mhm.
English or instructions, and you're getting it in your own language. But in terms of the productive language, I mean, I guess that would be just like I do see people, especially our lowest level students, just say something into their phone.
Yeah,
Usually, though, it's not, they'll say it and they'll just turn it and show me the text
exactly.
rather than the
Mhm.
phone speaking it out loud. So have you seen that where the phone says it out loud, or is it mostly they just say it and then turn it to show you?
They can turn it on, like Google Translator. They even have now. There are more and more people are using it where they can just turn it on. But we asked everyone to turn it off in the classroom. But for me, I do that because sometimes it
Hmm.
just turns on when when they're not even ready, right? And so I just say turn off all phones. So that's why. But I know that they can because they have had, like phone give it to me, and then the phone talks to me too.
Oh, it does both. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have
I
seen that. Yes.
Yeah, I'm concerned because I do feel like you mentioned before, it is a crutch. Like I'm like, turn that over, look at me in the eye and try to
Exactly.
share, use body language, point, draw
Right.
a picture because it's like the problem solving skills and
Mhm.
cognitive ability. I just feel like they're by relying on that, they're not only failing to build their linguistic capacity, but
Yes.
just basic human connection and collab.
Mhm.
It's like language is a collaborative effort. If they start to say something, then I can jump in and you build that together, even with pretty low level students. So I guess that is my concern. As I said, I haven't been teaching this year, and I
Mhm.
usually teach higher level students who we just don't. I don't know if I've even had to. I basically say we don't use cell phones in the classroom unless it's part of a
Mhm.
project, and I'll say pull it out and research this or whatever.
Yes.
Um, but I was subbing this winter and I did have some very low level students. And I
Mm.
don't mind them using it if it's a question about like we had the fires, is the fires
Yeah.
going to impact our class? Like if it's, safety or information, but if it's like to communicate about class, like rather than learning the language that they need to for class. Anyway, I'm sorry to do a little aside, but I do have a concern about the
No, I totally agree. And
reliance on that.
although it is a trend that's happening, and I know why, because it's just getting so much better that students are kind of like, oh, now I don't know, I don't need to bring my daughter or son to explain something after class, or they're using it. But what's happening is it's because it's so good now. I've seen more and more students using it as a crutch, meaning they're totally dependent on it and their head is down the whole time in my class. So I'm not saying a lot of people, but because I tell them you cannot use it, but there's always that one or two students who will still use it. And those students, I don't know, I have to like talk to them again and say, well, I'm sorry, you cannot use that because your head is down this whole time, looking,
Yeah.
reading and trying to
So
understand what
is it just Google Translate or is there another app that they're using as well?
there's many. A lot of people are using Google Translate for now, but whatever translator that can do a good job for their specific language. So it
Okay.
can change per person. I know that some students were using Pleco for Chinese. I don't know how that's changed right now.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Spell it Pletco,
Pleco, Pleco.
Pleco. Okay. Hmm.
Pleco. Um, so yeah, I'm not sure, but I do see Google Translate is being used a lot. And now this one right here, Deep L, supposedly is very accurate with figurative language. Once
Hmm.
again, I don't know if it's free though.
Hmm.
Yeah, Google
Okay.
Translate is great because it's free. Yeah, yeah. I do know that more and more people who know about these translators are moving away from Google Translate because they're saying there's much better ones, but it's just that, we're creatures of habit, so we still just use whatever we're used to. But there are more and more people who are commenting about how they're moving away from Google Translate because there's better ones out there. Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So yeah, and it is a concern. I think we as teachers have to draw that line of when we can use it. Yes. All right. So before we go any further, I do have to mention that some of our trends are happening because we have a different demographic of students. So as you can see, Generation Z, some of you are living with Generation Z students, or because they're your children or they're your cousins or nieces or nephews. So family members, we have Generation Z, or you have close friends. But these students are the ones who were born between 1997 and 2012. And to give you a better picture, in 2025, these people turn 28 all the way to 13 years old. So some of our students are in there, right? We have students from 18 and up, and some of you have students who are even younger. But for now, let's focus on that Generation Z, what we need to know about this generation so we are prepared and not considered a dinosaur anymore, right? We don't want to be the dinosaur teacher who's just teaching the old way all the time. We do want to try to update ourselves. So this Generation Z is a tech savvy, hyper connected, and they're considered the first generation of digital natives. We call I put it as a quote because an author named them the digital natives because they were born into that generation. So they get a lot of influence from social media and smartphones from very young age. They also are known to have a shorter attention span. And I think we all know why, because they're so connected to social media and smartphones. Everything is very quick. They're also considered kind of like the TikTok generation, right? Because it's those TikTok, I believe those videos are very short. I haven't been using TikTok recently, but I know it's a very short videos. Okay, so talking about this shorter attention span, what do you think? How many seconds or minutes do you think their attention span is, or hours? What do you think? What do you think that is? Let's just have an idea before. I wanted you to know about Generation Z because a lot of the trends that are happening is influenced by the Generation Z. What do you think? How many? What is their attention span? Let's just guess. 45 minutes, give or take, 7 seconds. Whoa. So, Destiny, I want to ask, are you Generation Z? Okay, and Carolyn has a totally different perspective, 7 seconds. So,
It's kind of a joke, but it's pretty short.
oh, okay. So, Carolyn, you're the winner. Ding, ding, ding. Because in 2015, oh, you are. Okay, so that's why I was saying, because you're usually, if you're in that generation, you think much more of okay. Yeah, so I was kind of guessing. Yeah. So you're 28, under 28, yeah. So in 2015, they actually did a research and oh yeah, Carolyn. Yeah, and so they found out it's quite a long time ago, right? 2015. So they said it was 8 seconds, actually 8 seconds. We're hoping now that it's gotten a little bit better. Maybe those same group of people have gotten older and maybe their attention span gets a little bit, expands a little bit. We're hoping. But yeah, that was in 2015. They said it was 8 seconds. Yeah. Okay. So once again, MAL. This is mobile assisted language learning. And once again, influenced by the Generation Z. The great part of mobile assisted language learning is that it can encourage collaborative learning in the classroom. So when you're in the classroom, if you've ever played Kahoot or if you've ever played Quizlet Live, those are all games that you can play together. As soon as you get that QR code from the screen on the board, you can all play together as a game. So a lot of gamification is also happening here. There's a lot of student interaction that you can do. For example, if you're using Canvas, you also have Pronto if your school district has allowed that. And Pronto is all of the students in your Canvas class can connect with each other by using a text messaging system called Pronto within Canvas. So we have students who are saying good morning to each other on Canvas in the classroom on the weekends. And it's kind of like you're constantly on. And then we also can, so another thing to remember for teachers is that you have to ensure more than ever that your website looks okay on a mobile phone. Because now our students are learning anywhere, anytime. They could be in their bed, they could be on the bus, on the train, they could be in the passenger seat and try to read something from your website. So you want to ensure that your website is mobile friendly more than ever. Okay, mobile assisted language learning. It's become more accessible, engaging, and effective. Well, I put overlaps here because there's a lot of overlap with this mall and other things like gamification or what other like real, let's say, real-time translation, all of that, you use a mobile phone, right? So there's a lot of overlap here. But once again, keep in mind that we're trying to prepare ourselves for the Gen Z and Gen Alpha, which is the next generation after Gen Z. Okay, gamification. So once again, points and rewards, that's what some people really like. It gives you that dopamine rush. When you play these games, you also feel happy and you laugh. And those are some of the ways that people learn better. So I don't know about many of you. I don't know about many of you, but I have maybe in 2024, I've had at least one or two students in my class. Let's say I have 55 students in my class every semester. Not all 55 students come to my class at one time, but we usually do that so that some students who can't come every day, we have kind of like a rotation of students who come um, um, and days that I have a lot of students, I have 40 students, and some days that some students can't make it, I have 25 students. Now, from those students, I've seen more students say that they used Duolingo to learn English before they came to my class. I'm a level 2 teacher, and that means they were able to skip the level 1. They went straight to level 2, and they said they didn't know any English before that. So many of those students are the younger generation, maybe in their 20s or 30s. And those students who are also very tech savvy, they were already using Duolingo and they were able to skip a lot of some of the things that we were teaching in level 1, which is the low literacy class in my school. All right. I want to introduce two writing apps that is also kind of like a game now. We Will Write and Groovelet. So I highly recommend that you look into this. If you want to teach writing and make it into a little bit of a game and make it more fun, you might want to use it. We Will Write and Groovelet. We Will Write is a teacher favorite. All right. I want to take Carolyn's question before I continue.
Oh,
Carolyn?
yes. My question is, so I've used Quizlet Lives and Kahoot. I've actually used both of them as, group games in the classroom as well as assigned them for people to do on their own, which is an
Mhm.
option for both of them.
Yes.
So my question is with Duolingo, I mean, I've just played around with it, like I've started the Italian one myself, but is
Mhm.
there any kind of option to use it with a group, or it's still just an individual language learning game?
Oh, yes. This one is not communal. It's not a community-based game yet. It's more
Okay,
individual. Yes.
thank you.
Um, but I will say that Duolingo also, because there's some overlap here with AI, they also added an AI feature where they have a language coach and it's more personalized. So they just added that feature. So that's another cool feature that you can give homework, you can give assignments.
Sorry,
And
in which one?
in
In
Duolingo
so
added a new
oh. So
AI.
you just get everyone to sign up for Duolingo. Is there a class feature in Duolingo
I don't
where you
think
can set up a
so.
class as a teacher? You can just like say, go to Duolingo and do lesson blah blah blah.
Yeah, I would research it first as a teacher and see
Hmm.
how I would do that. It's not as a class yet. I do have another game, not a game, but it's not a gamification. It's just it's like a mobile assisted language learning. It's called ChattyBot. Have you heard of ChattyBot?
I think so. You can actually start a conversation.
Yes.
Like,
So
yeah,
that one you
yeah.
can make a class. I don't know about
Oh, okay.
Duolingo if you can make a class. ChattyBot, you can make a class. which is also cool. And you can actually have them speak, but it's
I
not,
am so sorry. I'm gonna have to like leave for 1 second. So if I don't reply, that's why.
no problem. Okay,
Okay.
no problem. Okay. All right. So we have, so with gamification, as you know, it sustains learning habits and motivation. I think you all know why we use gamification. It wakes everybody up, right? And then they say, oh, it was so fun, and they want to come back again. So it also helps with learner persistence. All right. Okay, so we're going to go to micro learning, which I think is a really something that I learned myself as I was researching this. So micro learning, and some places call it nano learning, and they're specific chunks of learning. Bite-sized lessons is another way to describe it, and it takes about 5 to 10 minutes to complete. The reason these came about is because of the average attention span of Gen Z individuals was only about 8 seconds. Yes, Destiny. This is not true, right? Tell us it's not true. That was just 10 years ago. All right. So some of the things that people are using are reels and shorts. Now we need to know these new words, right? Reels, we see that a lot. Now people are also calling it sizzle reels. Sizzle reels, that's been known amongst the people who make these reels and shorts. It's called sizzle reels, and those are a little bit more professional. So sizzle reels is another way. So I'm going to show you an example of a sizzle reel, actually. Let's go here. Okay. Okay, so sizzle reel is something where you want to advertise in very less than a minute or so of your professional qualifications, or you want to advertise as a freelancer, what you can do. And let me show you what that looks like. Okay. So this is a sizzle
It's
reel.
not just for this kind of learner or that kind of learner. It's for all learners. It's a program for a whole student.
So this is not that professional. I wanted to show you that something that's not professional, so you know that anybody can do it. It's just to show you to advertise something, like it could be your program, your teaching. You can even put it up on your canvas to introduce yourself. That's called a sizzle reel, and it's a short way to advertise your qualifications or professional duties and things like that. So that's one of the things micro learning students are learning about you, or they're learning about the program. All right. So it allows for daily practice without overwhelming commitments. I see more and more of this where the apps are now saying they will give you an alarm and tell you same time every day. They will send you vocabulary and say, let's practice these new vocabulary. We'll practice for 5 minutes. Actually, ChattyBot does that. So you can actually, I think it was ChattyBot, or maybe it was one of the sister brands, Neo English, that does that. So I'm going to put that in the chat. ChattyBot and Neo English. So they do that. I see more and more apps having that capability where they give you an alarm and say, okay, let's practice our 5 minutes or 10 minutes of conversation, or 5 minutes of vocabulary. And all of this is mentioned because microlearning is also helpful in the sense that you have long-term language retention and through spaced repetition algorithms. So what that means is, if you've ever read the book Make It Stick, they talk about different ways people learn, and one of that is called spaced repetition. So you don't want to learn for like 2 hours on some topic. You want to learn little by little. You space it out and you repeat it throughout the week or throughout the month. And that's how you learn. And they say that has better language retention after a lot of case studies that they have done. Okay, so microlearning, it seems like it's happening a lot more. Okay, so this is, I think, we're going towards the end. Let's see, let's look at the time. Okay, it looks like it's 4 o'clock. So I am not going to finish all of this, but I will tell you that virtual, I think you all know about virtual and augmented reality, and you can take a look at some examples that I put up. I've also played with this a little bit 3 years ago before AI came out, and that's the classroom that I made. But yeah, I want you to know what it looks like. What are the classrooms that people are making with these VR and AR elements? Okay, so augmented reality, if you're not sure what that is, if you ever played Pokemon Go, then you know exactly what it is. Yes. And then this is what I wanted to also say, which was very helpful for our teachers who want to get those extra upskilling. So right now, 76% of educational institutions are offering these credentials. LinkedIn is also offering things, Coursera, and there's a lot of credential programs which result in a professional certificate. All right. Okay, so there's also mention of audiobooks and podcasts, but I will not go over it now. Let's look at the challenges. So we have challenges. We have also the biggest challenge, I think, is the privacy concern, which is still something that everyone is working on, and is more and more people are aware of it now. Okay. And then future directions. From AI agents, in the next 5 to 10 years, there are engineers right now working on agentic AI. Agentic AI is when it's not only just human-like AI, but now it can think on its own. So now engineers are working on agentic AI. All right. I think we still need a lot of work done to be in VR and AR because it's still a little choppy. The money is not going in there right now, so that's why. And these are some of the things that you want to think about when you want to start more technology in your program, in your school, in your department. Okay, so future directions. Okay, I think we don't have time for Q&A, but I was able to answer some of your questions. If you have any more questions, please send me an email. Once again, my name is Jennie Kim, and this is the end of the presentation. All right, thank you, Destiny, and thank you, Carolyn. I will send you the presentation if you'd like. And I can right now, I can also give you, let's see, I can send you the link. So that could be also helpful so that you don't have to check your email later. All right. Okay, so okay, I'm going to send you that email, present, share. Okay, so download. Okay, so copy, and then I'm gonna put it in here and see if maybe you can get it now. All right, so hope everyone was able to get something out of that. I will see you in the next month's workshop. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Destiny. Bye, Carolyn.
Bye, thank you.
Okay.